You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
The bye week brings rest, relaxation, and refocus for Memphis football. We sit down with Coach Silverfield, both coordinators, and a bunch of key players to recap the season so far and look ahead to a monster showdown against Tulane. It's The Ryan Silverfield Show. Let's go.
The game is on.
The Ryan Silverfield Show is presented by AutoZone. When you've got car trouble, you want help from number one. So if you've got a battery problem, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And by Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Chick-fil-A, we didn't invent chicken, just the chicken sandwich. RJ Young, technology solutions that power your business. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams.
It's Marvelous Memphis. We're well into the 2023 season, and Memphis feeling pretty good. I'm Doc Holliday.
And I'm Matt Infield. The Tigers sit at 4-1 at the bye. Let's hear the thoughts of the man himself, Coach Silverfield.
Well, Coach, we're into the season so far. Tell me, what you like about this, this Memphis Tigers squad?
Getting into the bye week, I think is part of it is just having to understand where we are as a squad. Been quite pleased. Obviously, we want to be undefeated, but that's the nature of college football. But we've done a lot of good things, and there's still a lot of things to improve upon. The thing I'm most pleased with is the resiliency and the perseverance of this group. We're seeing it in a variety of different ways, obviously, the way some of these fourth quarters have come about. Finding ways to win football games. And that's one of those things I don't like to reflect on years past. But last year, we weren't able to do that. I think this year we're seeing finding a way, whatever it looks like, offense, defense, special teams, finding a way. And that's been so huge, the perseverance of these guys. It's been a fun group, right? We talk about the camaraderie with all the different faces in the transfer portal. Who's going to step up? Who's going to do different things? And then, you look at it and you say, okay, you're 4-1 at this time. There's still a lot of things to improve upon. And that's one of the things you actually appreciate and you like. You sit there and say, okay, offense, we have yet to play a consistent game, right, for all four quarters. Defense, certainly things to clean up on. Maybe it's a play call, maybe it's tackling, maybe it's getting more turnovers, all those things. Then special teams. We've been good in a few phases, but not consistent. I cannot wait for us to play a four-quarter football game where all three of our units are consistent. And those are the things that we've got to work on, better execution and finding ways to continue to win football games.
You've been saying since the summer, this group feels special, this group feels unique, and the word of the summer was finished,
yes,
which for the most part so far, you guys have been able to do. Do you think those two things are kind of married together?
Absolutely. I think a belief system and the way we do things, coaches throw out the buzzword culture all the time. I think part of what we're able to see is the culture we've been able to build that these young men have been a part of, and that talk about that finish element. We've put that on display quite often this season already. Believe me, I wish some of the games were a little bit more out of hand in favor of the Memphis Tigers, where we could finish and save some people some hard issues. But I also think that when we talk about this being a special group, is finding ways and doing things at a high level and believing, whether you're down 17-0 or got the lead going in the fourth quarter, having a firm understanding, this is our football game. We're going to find a way to win this. We believe in each other. We're going to support each other. You're seeing it on practice on a Tuesday, and you're certainly seeing it show up on Saturdays.
Any specific player or unit that, you're assessed to be like, okay, now I'm getting what I want out of this person or out of this unit.
Yeah, look, I think what we've seen is, the emergence of Blake Watson.
Yeah.
Obviously, those running backs, we've had some special ones, but I think the emergence of Blake Watson, we're able to see what he's been able to do. He's been absolutely phenomenal. Not just, running the football, but what he does in pass protection and, the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. And, I think we're also seeing Sutton Smith continue to be a reliable guy that we've got very high expectations for. Seth is starting to take that next step. We've talked about Rock Taylor, what he's been doing, right? You talk about Kobe Drake making some clutch plays. Those tight ends that someone said, well, who are all these tight ends? Are they going to step up? We're getting to see those things. Pleased with the offensive line. We know they got to take those steps. We talked about the depth on the defensive line. Everybody knew Jalen Allen, Cremonte Hamilton. Now we're seeing some of those other guys step up. Jeffrey Canton-Arcoo is having a phenomenal season. Some of those you guys got to see him in the mix a little bit last year. I'm quite pleased with what he's been able to do. Chandler Martin's doing a lot of things. I'm naming a lot of names. I know you just asked for one or two.
No, I'm loving it.
But guess what? I know mom and dads are watching this show, so I also got to throw all the names out there as well. And then I think you're seeing the depth of the secondary, right? We knew Greg Rubin. You guys heard me talk about Simeon Blair, what those guys were able to do. But now you're seeing some of these guys in the rotation. I've been pleased with the way we've been able to do.
When we did our preview episode, I came away with that thinking two names are going to break out of those portal guys. Blake Watson, Simeon Blair feels like he is flying all over the field, making plays, and I know he is really important from a leadership standpoint too. What has he brought and what have you seen?
Yeah, look, Simeon Blair has been, from the day, I had the opportunity to meet the young man on his visit and then getting him in the transfer portal. They talk about a guy that started over 20 games at Arkansas, was a team captain at Arkansas, played a lot of snaps as a redshirt freshman on special teams, now coming here and just playing an absolute phenomenal level. And you talk about his leadership, he cares so much. I mean, it's like he was recruited, from Memphis since 9th grade. He loves this place. He loves his teammates. He's so bought into the way we do things. We talk about the mantra all in. Simeon Blair is all in his leadership style. And when you match what he's saying and with what he's doing on the field, it's been absolutely fantastic.
Coach, I got to ask you a little bit more about Kobe Drake. Now, Boise State, I've seen Kobe and spoke to him, but not really interacting with him. But during the game sideline, he comes up to me, yeah, Doc, they're coming back. I'm looking at him, I'm like, okay, is he always that intense? Because he almost headbutted me with his helmet on. Then I was like, way to go, Kobe. He was like, yeah, he just walked off. He just was walking back and forth. Is he always that intense, man?
No, he's not. But that's what you love is
yes.
Like, the guys are so into the game. They're so dialed in and focused. And sometimes, right, as fans, I get it. Like, well, why are we just dominating teams? Why are we all? That's great. We're still dealing with 18 to 23-year-olds. A guy go out there and execute. And Kobe's been what we call Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable. And to see that type of enthusiasm, see that type of energy, it's infectious. He came up, almost headbutted me. I wish he had headbutted you instead of me. But I'm glad to see it. But he's so passionate. You talk about a guy that walked on here that's having success, had some big plays in that game. And just so fired up because he believes in the way we do things. And, we got higher expectations from him throughout the season. But the engineering major with the 4.0 GPA, I've never seen him like that, but it's great. And we're going to continue to challenge him to push that way.
Now, speaking of wide receivers, Rock Taylor, you mentioned before, has grabbed that #1 wide receiver role. And I know it's been a bit of a winding path for him to get to this point, but what can you say about what he's brought this year?
Rock's one of those we talk about the growth and the maturation process of a wide receiver, a guy that's come in here, recruited out of high school all the way through, and you just get to see that gradual growth, right? One like, hey, as true freshman, he was ready, but you get to see, okay, man, this guy's got potential. And then potential only means so much, but you got to see the growth. He matched that last year. We saw, okay, this guy's going to be, and I told you guys in the offseason, watch out because this young man's going to be on fire. And he has proven that. He's worked his tail off. He's been dialed in. He's been focused. And that's what you want to see, right? Anybody can go out there and recruit, fast guy. He's done it. He's earned it. He's worked for it. And his mindset and approach have been phenomenal. He's having a fantastic year. Obviously, hopefully 9 more games. Hopefully next game he has a bigger game. And the next one after that, we continue to see that growth.
Talking about growth, the maturation of the team, Coach. I'm seeing it over the course from game 1 to now. Talk about that.
Well, by the maturation, you talk about the gray that's currently in my beard. Because all these fourth quarter games that are going on, the stress of that. But no, I think part of it is, we talked about last year. We had one of the youngest teams in all of college football. I think we're 10th or 12th youngest team in all of college football. And then obviously with the portal, you get some different names. But those guys, that core guys, right, that have been here, it's another year in the system, another year of understanding, hey, this is what it takes to win football games. And I think you get to see it put on display. And that's the fun part about it, right? Like, every year stands on its own in college football now more than ever, especially with the ever-changing rosters. But I think you get to say, okay, we're building something special, and I think this is a year that we have the opportunity to go out there and put it on display for everybody else to see. I can talk about it all the time. Not everybody's out there at Tuesday, Wednesday practice to get to see how much these guys love and care about each other and how much hard work they're putting into this thing. But it's been fun to watch.
We just heard from Coach Silverfield, and coming up next, we'll talk with both coordinators and 4 players. Stick with us.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
Welcome back to The Ryan Silverfield Show. The Tigers' offense and defense, both among the best in the AAC right now. Let's hear from the men heading those units. Tim Cramsey, offense averaging 36 points a game so far. You guys have scored at least 27 in every game. I know consistency is a word you guys harp on all the time. Are you happy from that point of view?
I'm happy with 4-1. 4-1's a good record. Obviously, you can go back as a football coach or anyone and look at the one there and say, well, if this happened and this happened and this happened, but happy to be 4-1. Yes, I'm happy with where we are as an offense right now. What we need to do is be more consistent. Okay, it's easy to say that. Everybody in the country says we need to be more consistent. So how do we become more consistent? So we had a big talk about that yesterday. technique fundamentals. Well, there's never a bad time for a bye week. So when you take advantage of the bye week, but that's what we're talking about, technique fundamentals. It's not the, catching the ball. It's not, making the great play. It's where should my feet be? Where should my eyes be? How deep is this route? Where should my hands be as an offensive lineman? And just get the techniques and fundamentals down and take it from the meeting room to the practice field to the game. And that's where the inconsistencies, start to disappear.
Matt Barnes, where does your unit stand right now in your eyes?
I think, we've had our ups and downs. We started the season playing really well. But we knew then, even when we had good outcomes, we knew that we were going to have some bigger challenges as we went on. And then obviously played Navy. It's always a tough game to prepare for. Ask USF. They played them this past week, and Navy scored 30 points on them. So we knew we'd have some challenges from then on. Obviously, Missouri's a great opponent. I mean, they just put up close to 40 points on SEC defense, and Boise's always, traditionally a really tough out. I think they won their conference last year. So we knew we'd have some challenges. We're a defense, I think, that has 8 new faces starting for us. So there'll be some growing pains, but our guys are playing hard, and I think we're getting into the meat of the conference play now and have a lot to look forward to.
Some new names and familiar faces have had a big impact on this season so far. Let's sit down with a couple of those players. Man, Rock Taylor, the man of the hour. We're watching your breakout season right now. A couple of 100-yard games in a row, a few touchdowns mixed in there. Just how good has this stretch felt for you?
It felt real good, to be a part of helping my team win and having those games that I need to have for the team to go higher and higher. So, yeah, it felt good.
Ryan said that at this time last year, you talked to him about maybe taking a redshirt year because you weren't playing that much. And he said, just stay the course, it's going to work out. When you think about how much you've grown from then to now, what comes to mind?
I would say the mental part of just staying locked in and not giving up so easy when it's not going my way. I'd say that.
You feel like your chemistry with Seth is at an all-time high right now?
Oh, yeah, it is. It sure is. Like, me and Seth, at first, when I first came in, we didn't have that chemistry, but now we talk a lot off the field and on the field about a lot of stuff, so yeah.
Chandler Martin, I mean, you've been balling out this year, man. What has contributed to your success?
I take it all back to my teammates and my coaching, and I wouldn't be here without them. And if it's not for my D-line and the coaches coaching me up every week and just being over-prepared every week, I would say, and just playing, having fun, playing fast, that'd be my thing.
What's the adjustment period been like here for you?
The adjustment from the FCS level to the FBS it's been good. It's still football at the end of the day, Maybe the lineman may be 6'6" or instead of 6 foot, but other than that, it's been pretty good, Football is football at the end of the day. I've been playing since I was 5 years old.
How long did it take you to feel totally comfortable here?
I got here in January, and my teammates made me feel comfortable off the rip, Coaches made me feel good. The city of Memphis is great, and food's really good, so I really settled in well.
Do you have a favorite moment of the season so far?
Favorite moments? I would say the Navy game. The last drive on that 4th down stop and hearing the crowd erupt and just celebrating with my teammates. That would be my favorite moment so far. So looking forward to making some more soon.
First, I gotta ask, how cool was the blocked field goal? You scoop and score 80 yards against Boise State, turn that whole game around. How cool was that for you?
Man, it was awesome for real. Just to have the opportunity to change the game for my team and, have us win the game, it was a great feeling.
And that was the first game of the season, correct me if I'm wrong, that you were playing on the field goal block team?
Yes, sir, it was.
Was that the coolest moment that you've had on a football field, do you think?
I think so, yeah. It was definitely top 3. When you score a touchdown, it's always, crazy on defense to do it.
That play aside, you're having a really good year overall. What's contributed to your success?
I just feel like we are doing a pretty good job right now, playing together as a team and just having other boys to, rotate to, like Sincere, my backup, Mike. It just, we're able to rotate, so I'm able to be all in every snap that I take in a football game.
I was going to say, the defense is towards the top of the conference in a lot of different categories. How do you feel like you guys as a unit have played so far?
We're doing pretty good. I'm happy with this, the way we started the season. We for sure would like to allow a little less point during every game, but we're focusing on Tulane right now, and hopefully we have a great performance there.
All right, Demir Blankensee, what has this adjustment to Memphis been like through 5 games?
Pretty good, adjusting, settling in, getting a feel for us as a whole, you know what I'm saying? Me being an addition and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Just getting a feel for how I fit and getting a feel for my teammates and who I play with.
Has there been a little bit of trying to figure out what your role is and what your niche is in this offense?
It's I've pretty much established myself, you know what I'm saying? Even before the season, but yeah, it's always things you see out there. It's always new things that come up in the season. Like, for example, you practice one thing and you can get another in game, and also you don't practice always at the same speed as the game will be. So it's a lot of new things out there.
Well, I'll throw it back to week 1. How good did that first touchdown as a Tiger at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium feel?
It felt great. It's nothing like scoring a touchdown. And college football is hard to win games. College football is hard to score touchdowns. So just getting in the end zone is always a great feeling.
Then against Boise State, obviously fourth quarter, close game. You come up with a 59-yard touchdown right when your team needs it. How special was that?
That was great because, I was a little frustrated at first with myself, but you always bounce back, you know what I'm saying? It's always, until the clock hits 0, it's always football left. So I just stayed in it. I had my teammates by my side. They talked me through it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I talked to Seth, and we figured out something, and I helped the team when they needed me.
It's the one we've been waiting for, the defending conference champs, right here on their Friday Night Lights. We'll preview Tulane coming up next.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone. Let's take a look at the AutoZone road ahead.
Well, coach, them dudes, Tulane. What's up, man?
Yeah, look, they're the defending champs. There's a reason they won 12 games last year. There's a reason they're 4-1 and actually had Ole Miss on the ropes. They've got one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Their defense is top 15 in the country. They do it at a very high level. We've exchanged back and forth home games over the last few years. They're very talented. It's going to be a huge matchup. We're quite excited about it. Obviously, a national television game, Friday the 13th. It'll be an exciting deal. Now, it's the next game, but it's also a conference opponent to the defending champs.
Not only the conference champs, last year's game, I imagine how it went down there, left a sour taste in your mouths. Does that fuel the fire at all?
Well, I think, look, we understood we did not come out and execute at a high level at all. We went down to New Orleans, they punched us in the mouth, and that's quite disappointing. So we understand we're going to have to be consistent. We talked about it early in the show, right? Being consistent in all 3 phases for 4 quarters. If we don't do that, it's going to be a tough Friday night for ourselves, but we're going to get these things fixed. We're excited about this matchup and this huge game.
That was tonight's AutoZone Road Ahead. AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination and official sponsor of Tiger Athletics. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Tough test ahead for the Tigers. We'll be right back.
You're watching The Ryan Silverfield Show, presented by AutoZone.
Tigers with a huge test against the defending AAC champions. Thank you all for watching The Ryan Silverfield Show. Until next week.
The Ryan Silverfield Show is presented by AutoZone. When you've got car trouble, you want help from #1. So if you've got a battery problem, head to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone. And by Conway Services, the official HVAC partner of Tiger Athletics. Chick-fil-A, we didn't invent chicken, just the chicken sandwich. RJ Young, technology solutions that power your business. Tennessee Lottery, turning dollars into dreams. This copyrighted telecast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield under the broadcasting rights granted by the University of Memphis. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Memphis and Learfield.